The meeting come to order. Please rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the village board meeting of October 14th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Terry.
Here.
Smith. Here. Kraus.
Here.
Diachenko.
Here.
Stacy.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Okay, in your packet, you have minutes from the last meeting of September 22nd. Does anyone have any changes? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Terry.
Yes.
Smith. Yes. Kraus.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Is,
Use running the minutes behind.
okay.
Traffic.
We will come back to that then. But we'll come back to the Earthrise Energy, but I was gonna give you an update. I met with our fire chief, Joe Felicetti, a couple weeks ago. One of the things we talked about was the impending issue with the hospital in Dyer that's gonna be closing in, I believe, 2027, which is gonna affect all of their emergency response times and, you know, is a problem. But the other thing we talked about is he has a part-time firefighter who is going to school to do fire inspections. So one of the things he wanted to be able to do was to get him some shadowing time with our fire inspector so that he could kind of, you know, continue his courses and you know, do his education. So I met with the gentleman who is going to be doing this. I met with him separately, and super nice guy, very diligent. He has a long history of being in sales, owning or managing businesses, so he's pretty good with dealing with the public, etc. So I got a hold of Jan, and she got permission from her supervisor at B&F, and he's going to shadow her starting later this week. So we'll see how that goes. And I just jumped right over. Does anyone in the audience wish to address the board? No. All right, village commissions, 4th of July commission, trustee Kraus.
Nothing to report.
Okay, youth commission, trustee Smith.
This Friday the 17th, we have our second annual night on the farm at Women Leaders from 5 to 7. So that's gonna be a fun event. You can make it, registered. And then November 21st, we're hosting a junior high only roller skating event in Linwood from 6 to 8.
Historic preservation commission, trustee Gardner.
Our next meeting will be tomorrow, the 15th at 6 p.m. at the depot. That's all I got.
All right. Finance and administration committee. Trustee Kraus. Oh, sorry. Village clerk's report. See, if I tuck it away underneath, it's gone.
I'm not letting Jeanette skip anything.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just the tax income received in the month of October is $779,506.21. A lot of that encompasses the real estate tax payments that were due. That's all.
Finance and administration committee. Trustee Kraus.
Yes, we'll go around a little here. Variance reports from the previous month are enclosed for your review. Consider a motion approving the treasurer's report. Donna?
Sure. So the September month end for the village accounts, $5,654,748.39. The month end for the commission accounts, $259,181.82. The two combined, $5,913,930.21. The September month end for general, $2,014,331.10. The commission non-AP payments for the month of September totaled $364,210.23. Looks pretty standard for the commission non-AP payments. And if there are no questions, that would end my report.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion approving the list of bills and payroll in the amount of $167,810.72.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Terry.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
And then, our auditors are here for our fiscal year 24-25 financial audit, and I'll turn that over to them.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Doss, I'm a CPA with Rose Stripes, Abraham, Ishman, and Garretsey, and had the privilege of performing the audit for the village this past fiscal year. This is partner Dale Garretsey, who oversaw the audit. So tonight I'm going to take a few minutes and just present the financial statements for the year ended 4/30/25. I'm not going to go through the whole binder, but we'll just highlight some of the important parts of it. So you have the final bound product in front of you there. And the first couple of sections there's a table of contents, and then you're going to have our auditor's report, which issued an unmodified opinion, which is a clean opinion, for the year ended April 30th, 25. The next part after the letter will be the basic financial statements, which I'll go into those in a little bit more detail here in a moment. After the basic financial statements, you have what we consider the required supplementary information. That includes, if you want to see comparisons from the budget to the actual results, pension information related to IMRF, and then also OPEB. Then after the required supplementary information, then there's going to be the combining schedules for the non-major funds. And then the last section is other information, which is going to be the schedule of assessed rates, extensions, and collections. So those are all the major sections of the statements. So I'm going to start by discussing pages 4 through 6. We'll start on page 4 for the net position and statement of activities. Those two reports are reported on a full accrual basis of accounting. So what that means is it includes your capital assets, all your long-term debt, your deferred inflows and outflows that pertain to like IMRF. So if you want to flip to pages 5 and 6, the statement of activities. And I'm going to draw your attention down to the 5th line from the bottom, which is our change in net position. For our governmental activities, you had a change in net position or an increase of $799,796. So that's about $500,000 less than our prior year increase. And some of the contributing factors to that is in fiscal year 24, we had ARPA funds that were recorded as revenue. There's also more grant revenues from the Penfield Street grant. And then also your normal operating revenues were higher across the board in fiscal 25 than in 24 by about $180,000. And expenditures increased by about $300,000, which is less than the increase from the prior fiscal year. So across the board, the governmental activities did fairly well. Then we also have the business type activities, so that would be your water, sewer, and refuse. There was an increase there of $111,296 from the prior year. That was down from the prior year by about $330,000. The differences there were driven mainly by transfers to other funds. So in fiscal year 24, we had transfers coming in from other funds, while in fiscal year 25, we had transfers going out to other funds. So that was the major difference there. The expenditures and revenues overall remain consistent in the business type activities. Then we'll go ahead to page 7, which is our balance sheet for the governmental funds. This is reported on our modified accrual basis. So this is focused on our current financial resources. It does not include your capital assets or long-term liabilities. If you want to go to the third line from the bottom, under the general fund column, there's the unassigned fund balance of $1,254,523. That increased slightly from the prior years, and it remains healthy from a reserve standpoint. Then you'll also see that the public safety facility fund is listed as a major fund. And that's what was holding the bond revenue for the new building. Its reserves have decreased due to using those funds for the construction of the new facility. We'll go ahead and flip to page 9, which should be our statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance for the governmental funds. Again, this is on the modified accrual basis, so no capital assets or long-term liabilities. The third line from the bottom is going to be our net change in fund balance. For the general fund, it increased overall for fiscal year 25. The revenues increased over fiscal year 24 with only minor increases in expenditures. There was more transferred out of the general fund to other funds in fiscal year 25 than in 24. And then if you look a few lines up, you'll see that the excess of revenues over expenditures was $630,476, which is about $200,000 more than the prior year. And then for the public safety facility fund, like I mentioned before, the large decrease in fund balance is due to expending this year what you received in the prior year for building the new facility. And then the last page that I'll go over is page 12, which is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position for the proprietary fund. So again, this is your business type activities, your water, sewer, refuse. Your operating revenues increased from the prior year by about $260,000. And the operating expenditures also increased from the prior year by about $250,000. Your non-operating income and expenses, so like your tax and interest, remain consistent with the prior year. And the overall change in that position before transfers out to other funds of $285,510. And that remains consistent with the prior year. So overall, Village is operating in a healthy financial position. I just want to say thank you again to the staff here that helped and was in this project with us. You guys are always great to work with, and we appreciate being here. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion accepting the fiscal year 24-25 financial audits.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
Gardner,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Piachenko.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
And then discuss approval, beginning recruitment for a full-time administrative assistant for the village hall.
Yeah, the only thing is, obviously, we have a retirement coming up, and we would like to try to have someone in, I guess I could backtrack, we're hoping maybe one of our, we had somebody moving into that position and chose not to, so now we would like to try to get someone hired full-time. I think our thought process was to hopefully have them here and working through the month of December.
Overlap.
With an overlap, yeah. But we just want to start that process.
And this is a position we're just filling, we're not creating a spot.
Correct.
Okay. Then do we need to know, well, I mean, it's a budgeted item, it's a budgeted position, do we need a motion to approve it, or just want it to, because it's gonna be an overlap, it's gonna be a different budgetary.
We'll redo that at the
I mean, my point is, it's a budgeted spot,
Mhm.
it's whatever department it's in is within your right to do that. I don't wanna start this at, I mean, trustees, it's not a, that's a day-to-day, as I take it, it's a day-to-day decision, that's department head, decision, not the board's. And if it's gonna cost extra money, we need to find it in the budget or see, then I can see that, but I don't see a problem with just advertising for a spot that the board's already budgeted and decided on.
And that's probably
So it would
the
be
only
the-
issue is, yeah, there would be maybe a month overlap that I don't know that that month is budgeted for.
I'm sure we can find it.
Find something that's
It'll be
right.
needed,
Yep,
yeah.
okay,
That's all I have, thank you.
all right. And then, is this the gentleman?
Yes, yes. I don't know.
Let's backtrack then to the beginning under my report, where we would have a presentation of the Plum Valley Solar Project from Earthrise Energy.
Ryan, did you have a laptop?
Yeah, I do.
HDMI.
Sure,
That
perfect.
can hook you up over there.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for being patient. I got stuck in traffic on the way down, so. See my way over here. Plug right in. This one right here? Yep. Okay, great.
It takes a minute on our end.
Not a
There you are.
problem.
You are up and ready.
Great. Is it good for
Yep.
to start, Jack? Great. So I know I've met a couple of you virtually, including the president, a couple of weeks ago discussing some of our work in the area. But for those of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Ryan Dunphy. I'm a senior development associate at Earthrise Energy, and I came here tonight to present a bit about our solar facility that we're planning to develop in the area, and move my mouse away so it's not doing anything weird, and talk a little bit about how we're kind of proposing to partner with the Village of Beecher. So obviously we'll make time. Please stop me if you have any questions during, or obviously we'll make plenty of time afterwards for chat. So we're Earthrise Energy. I'm part of a small team that's working on this project. You might meet some other folks on our team in the weeks to come, Rob, Talia, Flavia, and Cheryl. Great group of folks, but I've been talking with Charity and a number of the folks on the board for a couple of weeks now about our project and how we can kind of collaborate with the village. So Earthrise, I know solar is kind of a burgeoning land use and business here in Will County. We're a little bit distinct. We are what's called an independent power producer, which means we own, build and operate power plants across Illinois. So we own 5 natural gas peaker power plants across Illinois. So the one most pertinent to our discussion today is the Crete Energy Venture facility off West Burville Road. And we have kind of 5 of these natural gas plants and are building kind of solar projects that are going to be complementary to those natural gas plants. Talk a little bit about how that works here in a second, and we are under construction with our first facility down in Gibson City at the moment. So exciting couple months seeing the panels come alive down there. We are distinct, I think, in the landscape of solar industry because we do what's called a surplus interconnection strategy. So we own these natural gas peaker plants. These are facilities that are designed to meet short-term periods of unusually high electricity demand. So those rare, it's usually less than 50 hours a year where air conditioning is really high on a really hot July day, or everyone's running their baseboard heat in the middle of a deep winter storm. And these facilities are designed exclusively to make sure the grid is reliable and stable during those very short-term periods of high demand. So we own and operate these facilities because they provide a lot of value to the grid in terms of reliability. They also, the rest of the year, effectively 95% of the year, though, they're idle. They're not operating. They're not sending power to the grid. So we're using that existing connection to the what's called the transmission level of the electric grid. So there's distribution, which is maybe what your home is plugged into, and then there's the transmission lines, which are the big overhead lines that you see driving around that are maybe up to 100 feet high. So we plug into that level of the grid, and because these power plants already have that connection to the grid, we don't need to go through the lengthy interconnection review, which is typically a 4 to 5 year process in which the utility studies your solar project and determines whether there's capacity on the electric grid for your new source of power, and also what are the associated costs with bringing that new power onto the grid. So we've kind of skipped around that part of the process, so we're able to bring our solar facilities online quite a bit faster. And we, are excited that these are both, existing taxpayers in the county, so both our Crete and our Manhattan gas plants contribute about $1 million a year in tax revenue across the county, and talk a little bit about the additional tax revenue that we anticipate from our project, Plum Valley. So that's kind of our unique strategy. Our particular project we're talking about today is called Plum Valley Solar. This is a 260 megawatt solar facility, so this is at the utility scale of the market. A lot of the, I'm aware that there's 1 or 2 community scale projects that have occurred within Beecher. This is a larger project at the utility scale of the market, so effectively kind of a power plant. And this will all interconnect with our gas plant in Crete. The blue or turquoise, depending on what I guess blue or maybe purple, depending if your color, what your color preference is land that's going to be permitted through Will County, and a special use permit application there we'll be submitting shortly. And the teal parcels will be, solar arrays will be permitting through the village of Crete. So again, interconnecting with our gas plant in Crete, and working with the transmission operators at PJM. Show a little bit about proximity to the village boundaries. So we're close but outside of the village boundaries of Beecher. So you can see, the CSX railway kind of hugs the easternmost parcel there, and then Eagle Lake Road kind of goes west-east. That's as close as we go to the village, but most of the land that's part of the facility, and I'm happy we can flop back to these at any point, is north and west of the village. So geographically, that's kind of our footprint. We are excited, as I mentioned, our 2 power plants in Will County already contribute a little under $1 million in tax revenue. The Plum Valley Solar is anticipated to provide another about $2.6 million in new tax proceeds to taxing bodies throughout the area in the first year of operation, so in 2028. So these are, the big, winners here. No surprise, the school districts. And I'm happy to send you a copy of this presentation too, so you don't have to take cell phone photos as well. Yeah, my phone is crap, so it would be a very grainy photo, but I'm happy to show the PDF. But the Crete Money School District does about $1.5 million. Beecher School District about $400,000. Fire district's obviously a big beneficiary, so we're really excited about the new tax revenues that are going to be coming into the county. We're also excited. We've our EPC, our engineering, procurement, and construction manager, Bechtel, prospective construction manager, is signed an MOU with the Tri-Trades. So Plum Valley will be a 100% union-built project, which we're really excited about. And this will be a big project with a lot of new employment opportunities, both during construction, and then we'll have a full-time team in addition to our natural gas team that'll be responsible for monitoring and managing the solar facility on an ongoing basis. We are unique as well in the solar industry in that we're a public benefit limited liability corporation, which means we're liable not just to our shareholders but to our stakeholders, and we really first and foremost feel like our stakeholders are neighbors of our projects. So we've done a lot of corporate giving in Will County. We've met a lot of really wonderful organizations through our RISE grant program. Emergency management services we've donated to the Crete EMS, to Beecher Fire District, to art galleries, food banks, a lot of great causes here in the area. And we've worked out some really interesting endowments and scholarships at both Joliet Junior College and Gov State. And obviously we're excited about both the union job roles we're bringing into the area, and also long-term, financial benefits for the landowners who are part of the project. The other thing I'll mention that I'm really excited about, we've talked a lot with Chief Joe and his team about emergency response planning and design. So one of the things we really pride ourselves on at Earthrise is one of our big values is safety. We want to operate an extremely safe facility, and to do so we are really collaborating actively with the fire districts in the area. So we've hosted a meeting with them last winter to kind of a little bit of an open house with all the fire district leads. We've brought Chief Joe and some of his team and some of the other folks from the Manhattan area down to our Gibson City project under construction to kind of demonstrate the kind of facility we run, how it operates differently from a lot of community solar developers, and the fact that we have a full-time site management team that can collaborate with those first responders for any instances that might come up, and that we can really collaborate with those first responders in the design of the project so that this is a safe facility that everyone feels good about supporting. We've also been working with fire districts here and across the state to consult and collaborate on a kind of statewide curriculum for first responders on utility scale solar projects, which are a newer kind of development in the state than some of the smaller community scale projects that you might have seen in our village. The last thing I'll mention is probably most pertinent to everyone here is our community benefit agreement. So we're not within the corporate boundaries of the village, but again, we really feel like all our neighbors of our projects are stakeholders for us. So we want to feel like we're investing in those villages. So any villages that are within 1.5 miles of our projects are being offered $100,000 as part of a community benefit donation. This is really intended to support a meaningful capital project that is of interest to the village residents and obviously the trustees that are representing them. So this is something that I've shared a draft of this document with Charity, and maybe some of you have read that document. Happy to answer any questions about that, but this is our way of indicating our commitment to our neighbors and hopefully bring whether it's an incomplete project that's lacking budget or something that's been of interest for a long time, where this kind of investment would be meaningful to bring that project online. So that's the extent of my conversation or presentation this evening. I could talk a little bit about what the construction process looks like and the rest of that, but I'll kind of pause there and see just what initial questions folks have, because I want to make it open for conversation.
Can you go back to the slide that's got Beecher zoomed in?
Yeah. Let's see here.
So I know you mentioned construction.
Mhm.
Where's all this traffic? Is traffic going to be coming through Beecher to get to the site? Or you guys want to be a lake for? Where's all the traffic going?
That's a great question. So we're in the process of negotiating our road use agreements with all the township road use commissioners at the moment. So I don't have a definitive picture of what that traffic flow looks like, but that's being negotiated with those road use commissioners, and I'd be happy to come back and or share over email the latest information that we have on that, since our engineering team's kind of been the closest folks to that discussion.
So in this picture here, the teal color, that's where.
Yeah, that's a great question. I haven't really. So the teal
okay.
is like the panels. That's
Okay.
like the site, the
Right.
current site plan of where the solar
Okay.
arrays would go. The blue, that dark shade of
That's the
blue
village
is that's the
boundaries.
village boundaries.
Okay.
Yep.
I actually have just kind of a housekeeping question.
Sure.
Because I've already, talked to you guys
Sure.
on the call. But it's Earthrise Energy, but the community benefit agreement has a different name on it.
Yeah, so it's a typical practice within the solar industry that there's a unique project called a project company that will own the particular facility on behalf of the larger, not the larger company, but in this case, the larger company, Earthrise. So in this case, Sparrow Property Manager, or Mockingbird, is our property management group that kind of would own the actual solar project on behalf of Earthwise, so. yeah.
Is this basically equal to like a grant?
Yeah, I think that'd be a fair comparison. And it's totally up to your discretion what you decide to use for that. I think our, preference is that's just not kind of pooled into the general fund, but that it benefits something distinct that residents really can, see and touch and feel and really improves quality of life here, so.
Anybody else have any questions? No?
Cool. So I'm happy to leave some cards. Obviously Charity has my information. I'll make sure to get you some information about the roads.
Did you say you had something about construction too you're gonna go into?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit just about our process.
Anticipated start date and any of
Sure.
that stuff?
Yeah, so right now, actually, that's a great question. So where we are in our schedule right now is that we're just about to submit our special use permit applications for the village of Crete and for Will County. And simultaneously, we have another project that's tied in Manhattan that will be permitting through the village of Manhattan as well as Will County. So kind of parallel projects going in track. We anticipate that we get the special use permits back and approved sometime in the first quarter of next year, and would anticipate that we'd start construction probably July or August of 2026. These projects take about 18 to 24 months, maybe 18 to 20 months in the case of these two projects in Will County. So the hope is that they would be operational in the first quarter of 2028. And I'm happy to go through this graphic, it's of interest, but basically the process of that 18 to 20 months is there's a kind of an initial preparation of the land and road work. We don't really, our land work, we try to keep as minimal as possible. We use what are called trackers, ground tracking trackers, so they kind of are able to roll with the hills, the contours of the land, and then they will pivot side to side very slowly to track the sun over the course of the day. Then the electrical equipment is installed. We do all below ground, medium voltage collection lines, kind of linking each of these solar arrays together and all the way back to the power plant in Crete. We will only do above ground infrastructure where necessary if we have to get over a creek or a road or something that can't be dug under. And then the electrical installation happens and we install piles. So these are steel piles that are driven about 6 to 8 feet underground. The mechanical friction of those piles holds them in place. So no concrete except for on the where the inverters go. And then they'll install the trackers and the panels, and then they will go through the commissioning process, which is essentially kind of doing all the checks and to make sure that it's fully operational and ready to provide power to the electric grid.
And the teal properties that are near Beecher, those are long-term leases?
Let's go back to that slide. They're a mix of leases and properties we're under contract to purchase. So. Yep.
So where's, trying to see where our industrial park is. So that's a waste from them.
Yes.
They're not blocking us in.
Yeah, because it looks like the northern end of the teal near us is Eagle Lake Road,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
probably.
But it is
Yeah,
within
this
1.5
is-
miles.
Yeah,
It's within the 1.5 miles,
It's-
yeah.
yeah.
It's not,
That's Eagle Lake Road there. This
Yeah,
is
oh,
the
okay.
CSX rail line right here.
So right there at Church, towards the western edge, or not west, no, not quite the western edge on Church, and the dark blue would be the industrial park.
I know, we're gonna discuss the agreement project or whatever later in the meeting.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, this is nothing that we agree on now, right?
no,
Not yet.
Yeah, just presentation. I believe we're going to vote it on it at a later date, maybe.
Yes.
So just in terms of next steps, so kind of what we had discussed was, identifying a project that the village would like these funds to go to. Obviously reviewing the CDA in detail, any additional questions that any of y'all have or your council, happy to answer those, and then, take an official kind of vote on adopting the community benefit agreement or not, so.
Which in that includes a resolution that does not,
Of no objection,
No
so,
objection.
yeah, so it's, as we're preparing for the county, this is not asking you to endorse the solar facility, but asking for basically a neutral, position on it, so. And again, please read that in detail, have your council review that, ask us any clarifying questions that you might have about that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
alrighty.
Alright, well, I'm grateful for your time, we're happy to, be neighbors here and be partners hopefully in the years to come here. I know we've had a great time chatting with Charity over the past couple of weeks, and just thank you all for your time and for considering this, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for
Thanks,
battling
everybody.
the traffic to.
Oh, yeah, well, now I have battled the full breadth of it, north and south, so. Alright, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alright, public buildings and properties, trustee Pacheco.
Hi, yes, all I've got is I'd like to request for executive session to discuss setting terms for the sale of property.
Thank you, sir.
We'll do that a little later.
Thank you. That's it.
Planning, building and zoning committee, trustee Stacy.
Thank you, Mayor. The building department's company report is enclosed for everybody. I would like to make a motion approving the ordinance granting special use permit, the B3 General Business and Service District for a daycare facility located at 933 Dixie Highway. The facility opened in April of 2025 as an indoor children's play facility and a private party room. The change of use required a special use permit from the village as well as licensing with the state of Illinois DCFS. I'd like to make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Terry,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Gachenko.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Okay, and I'd like to turn it over to Charity, where our walkthrough that we went on for the Hunter's Chase on our homes.
Yeah, last week, I believe it was Tuesday, several elected officials, trustees, mayor, fire protection district, chief of fire protection district, Safe Built, and village staff, did some walkthroughs, we met over at the model, thank you. Some walked through there, some didn't, but then we also went to, a few people fell off towards the end, because we spent quite a bit of time over there with them, asking questions with Lamar. They were walking us through the homes, said, everybody, answering everybody's questions. I know I went into 3 of the homes there, and just felt like it was a good, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it was good to have all of us go through there, except the fire department, Safe Built, for the building. We met with one of the new inspectors that Safe Built has, and I just think that'll help keep the process moving smoother, especially since that's a big subdivision that's being developed over there, so. That's it.
Okay. And the last item is, the next planning and zoning meeting is scheduled for Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, 7 p.m. at Village Hall. That's all I have, Mayor.
Public safety committee, trustee Terry.
Thank you, Mayor. The police department and EMA and code enforcement monthly reports are all enclosed. Chief, anything you'd like to add?
No.
Director Hyman, anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm good.
I'd like to direct the village attorney to draft an ordinance as it pertains to e-bikes, electric bicycles. The Public Safety Committee had met around 4:30 this evening, and we kind of went over a lot of different things and have the guidelines for Tim there, if he can maybe draft something up for us.
If I have a list of the stuff, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'll coordinate with you on that. Thank you.
And then, Chief, you wanna give a report on the purchase of the new squad car?
The new
For
one?
Aaron, I think Aaron's.
Yes, we just received our Dodge pickup truck squad car that's gonna go to Sergeant's Court. It's scheduled to be equipped with all lights and sirens on the 23rd. And at that time, we would be turning over Aaron's car to Director High, EMA. But that car took a lot longer to come in than the Ford's do. We were sort of disappointed in how long it took. Because Aaron's car is really, it's got a lot of miles on it. But next year, we'll get another squad car, and the year after that we get two. So every third year we get three. And that, we did not do that this year because we bought the body camera. And that rotation will keep the fleet in good shape for years to come. I think it's a good project.
Thank you, Chief. So instead of declaring the 2009 Chevy HHR as surplus, we're going to be moving that to DPW. So they're looking to acquire that car. We'll do, I think we're talking about whatever the value is as far as change funds, because I know EMA needs money in their funds. So we're going to do that at $2,000. So to switch that over, and then the HHR will be utilized by water department to go check on meters and
do
help them with the meter
locates.
rating and the locates.
Essentially, that money will come out of the CESFA, the PW CESFA for equipment.
And then, I'd also like to request for executive session to discuss the possible candidate for a part-time employment.
Okay.
And that concludes my report.
Public Works Committee, Trustee Gardner.
Public Works monthly report is enclosed. Water Department monthly report is enclosed. Wastewater treatment plant monthly report is enclosed. Next, you consider a motion declaring two Spartan mowers as surplus property and set minimum bids. It was discussed during the fiscal year 25-26 budget preparation that with the purchase of a new John Deere mower, the two older mowers would be sold. That's up the committee's recommendation that based on age and condition of the mowers, the 2019 we would like to set at $2,000 for the minimum bid, and the 2020 at $3,500.
Sorry. You're doing a little point of order here.
So anyway, I will make a motion declaring two Spartan mowers as surplus property and set minimum bids at $2,000 and $3,500.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call?
Gardner,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
DeChenko.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Sorry. Sorry. We thought we missed a motion in there somewhere, so.
Joe had to walk down this way.
Yeah.
I was given directions, so we're good. I don't need a motion to proceed forward, so.
Okay.
Consensus for the board.
All right, cool. Thank you, trustee. It's like we never did this before today. Economic Development Community Events Committee, Trustee Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. So an update on the wayfinding sign for the downtown businesses. It was installed by Public Works last Thursday on the corner of Dixie and Penfield. TIF district funds were used to purchase the sign, and I think it looks great.
That's good.
It's very nice. I like it. And then discussion and consideration of a potential village project to be funded by donation provided through a community benefit agreement with Sparrow Property Management. So what we just had our presentation on. If anybody has any ideas what we would use that for.
My idea was the safe routes to schools. We've never been able to fill in all those sidewalks. And I don't even know what that price would be, but I thought that would be kind of a nice project to fill in all those concrete sidewalks. We applied for 2, 3, 4 different grants and didn't get them.
Right.
Just a thought.
And easy enough to administer.
Yeah.
And it's something people can see every day.
Yes, yeah, people are coming and stopping at the sidewalk and walking in the streets and going back around again. Where construction never finished and just a thought, don't even know how much it would cost or how much of it we could do, but
Definitely something to look into.
Yes.
Does anyone else have anything?
anybody else have any other ideas?
Not yet. So, should we table the motion then, till we've had more time to
Yeah.
think about it?
Yeah, there's no rush.
Yeah.
Right.
So, just give ourselves some time to mull it over.
I have a quick question, sort of something sort of about that. Do we know, like, when, probably should ask him when he's here, when this donation is,
Would be like 20 into 27 probably.
okay, cause there's,
Basically, when they first sell the electric, that's under 2A.
that's what I read that, but I know what the words are, I just don't know what they all mean. It's
Based-
Yeah.
based
lawyer
upon-
speak, so.
Based upon the presentation tonight, then you'd be looking probably like early 2028 when they
As I say,
first start putting the
completion
for
of
the
the
switch.
project, so we're looking a few years down the road.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Well, then as far as approving the community benefit agreement, is going along with that is the resolution that I spoke about earlier, and I know that they'll need that resolution. Not soon, but maybe by the next board meeting, you can.
So they want our objection, or our letter of non-objection, and then they'll give us the money 3 years later.
Right. Probably because they have to go to the county
For their
to
special
get their,
use.
for their
Yeah.
special use.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out when the
Yeah.
payout was.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that you guys take a look at this. I know there's some legalese in it, but it's actually a very good agreement. It doesn't put us in a position where we have to come out and support or anything else. It's just, again, if we're okay with the project, if the whole doesn't think it's a bad thing. Again, they're a public benefit company, so that's where they're allowed to take these dollars out and give them to local villages and things like that. They want to be partners in the community, so it seems like a win. And we have an opportunity to maybe fill in, whether it's sidewalks or some other project, you know, potentially, some of those funds.
And it's, the project is unincorporated, so we have no control one way or the other over whether it happens. They, oh, they know that. They know that, yeah. But they, you know, they are requesting that letter of non-objection since it's within our planning boundaries. We do have say-so as to whether we approve or not. All right. All right. Any old business to come before the board? All right, would someone make a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel and property?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Pachinko.
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
And we'll take